Well. Look what we have here. It is around 5:45 a.m. and it's another market watch on a Saturday. I know, yes, last week I said I was going to do this, but hey, it's 5:45 a.m. I have a show to go to in a couple of hours, so I have to get stuff like this priced out and ready to go for my showcases. So, let's do a little shameless plug right here. If you are not doing anything this Saturday, today, and tomorrow on Sunday, go to SoCal CardCon. I will leave the link in my description of this video, and that's where you'll find me today for the next couple of days. But before we get to the nitty gritty, we're going to go and talk about market watches, but in a different frame, in a different style today. We are going to go over the traditional TCG player thing, but I am going to look over at something from Card Ladder as I start pricing my cards and stuff. So I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. I had a little bit too much coffee already. I woke up at 3 a.m., had to get one of my GoPros back in the Valley, and now I'm back in LA. It's been a crazy ride already, so let's do this shit. So we're going to go over some TCG player stuff. We're going to go over OP16 and the market for the singles for now. We do have actually, we'll hit birds with one stone real quick. But right now we're going to look at the cards itself, the actual singles themselves. If you think everything is super expensive, well, it is. According to sealed products, the way sealed products are selling right now, they're selling hotcakes. Things are at a point where the hype is real. It's built up. We're at an all-time high. Can it go lower? Yes, at any time, this can go lower. So again, buy what you like, but buy very cautiously. I'm more of a you're gonna wait and see type of thing, but I'm also gonna sell what I can and when I can is how I view it. So of course, the top three are the mangas. Sakazuki is leading at the number one with about 1,200. So they're about market wise, they're about 1,200, almost 1,200. But you see, this is why we check verified sales, right? Let's see. The low volatility. Ooh. So it's been stable and it's rising. So the nearest thing you can get is 1,800 with 10,000 verified sales. Another 10. Wow, this guy's shooting for the moon. Again, you don't want to just look at market. And this is why I teach you to not just look at market. If we just look at market, you're either selling very low or you're buying very good. So it's a double-edged sword. And am I afraid of telling you guys this? No, I'm not afraid of telling you guys this because one, I think my network is pretty big enough for me to be able to get singles whenever, however I choose, whenever I please. But also, I have enough friends within this hobby to get enough deals where it doesn't hurt me. But if you don't have the network, you're going to rely on these two basic principles, these two price points, these three views or frame of views that a price can fluctuate. So of course, the market is the accumulation of all the sales since its release was last month, and it's still holding that 12. Well, market price is still holding that 1,200, right? But it just sold for about 13, over 1,200. It's over 1,200, and people are now what the next available is about 1,500, 1,800, another about 1,900. So people are getting ready for this to move up. So that's why I don't have you just do market alone. You don't just check market alone. Who's on? All right. The market price is $1,000. If you're buying it for 1,000, that's great. Or under 1,000, you're in shape. The standard law in this hobby is buying at 85%. Well, if you're buying at 85% off the market, you're paying $850, right? But it's being listed at 1,100. Easy peasy. Now, let's look at the recent sales. Not much change. It's actually dropped 1,200 since last month. It's actually dropped a little bit. And the last sale is a little bit higher, and it has photos. I love it when vendors on TCG Player leaves photos. I know it's a lot to ask, but it's a lot better. I wish more people did this. Please, if you're selling on TCG Player, start posting photos on very big cards. It's hard to make a decision without a photo, and just post a fucking photo, dude. Take that little time to do that. Anyways, we're gonna go to the third manga, and I'm just trying to breeze through this real quick. So Porcelino, it's under $1,100. We checked the data first, and it's about, dude, 900 LP. Damn, that's about under $1,100. So the next big guy is selling it for 1,100, then 1,500. So the price jump is gonna dramatically leap in a couple of months, in a couple of weeks, basically. Sorry, in a couple of weeks. So it's gonna be crazy. Sheesh. And then the Miss All Sunday, man, she started off at 700, real hot. 665, that's great. But she's gonna jump back to 700 with the next verified sale being 665, which is good. I would cop that right now. There's two of those. And that's just me. I'm not telling you guys to buy. This is not the channel for you to buy. Do your research like me. And if you like the card, go buy it. If you don't, kick rocks. But I really like the card. I might just buy it. I might buy 3 of them. But it's not on my cart yet. All right. Anything worth noting? Everything is just stabilizing, which is good. The red ace, a month ago, you could have gotten it for 40, 45 bucks, and now it is heading to 55. Oh, I have a bunch of these in my binder, but look, the last one is $47. Then the last one is 58 before that. So if that's how you're going to argue, let's get the value of both of them, and then we'll go from there. So it's 53 bucks from the last 2 sales, and rocks. I'm going to sell for 55. I have a bunch of them in my binder. If you like red ice, I'm the only one to get it now. You're going to get it through me for 55 bucks today at SoCal CardCon. All right, so we are going to look at the cases, and the cases have jumped up like crazy. Oh man, these were $2,000, 2,200. They're going up. 24. Again, One Piece is midterm. If you're holding it for a little bit, you're doing well, and that applies for sealed. That applies for select singles. If you're holding for a second, you're about to make money, and that's how you make money the right way in this space, is to hold for a second and then just go. If you run and gun and flip instead of investing or chilling, enjoying the card, you're leaving money on the table. I don't give a fuck who you are. A lot of the newcomers in this game are just flip. I get it. I get the turn and burn, but you're fucking leaving money on the table, and I'm laughing at you. Just saying. Anyways, need I say less? There's not much more to say. It's heading to 24 to 2,700 fairly soon. So, and it sucks because my supplier took me out of this one. I didn't get it. I didn't even get my 15, so I asked for a refund. 16 was coming out, and I didn't get my 15s. So fuck that guy. I don't know what else to say. I won't be giving him my business for sure. Definitely. Let's go to the booster boxes. The booster boxes is surprisingly under $200, and most One Piece boxes have already crossed that threshold, maybe stayed at that threshold. But this set is pretty good playability wise. Collectability, all the Lisa and Lisos came out, and I was able to get it at that price, 200. It kind of dipped a little bit. I knew I saw it for 185, 190, so it started off at 230, really hot. And even 230, I was okay with that. The EBO3 set just was on massive fire at 450 a box. And I'm like, damn, is that life? So we have cleared the hurdle, everyone. We can somewhat afford these boxes, right? So 200 is not bad at all. Comparing it to the last couple of sets before that, even EBO3 was a major set. that everyone wanted and could not get. But right now it's stabilizing at 200. It's not bad. You should be buying this. There's a lot of supply of this for some reason. Maybe it hit the third wave. Who knows? I would buy more. I'm going to buy more booster boxes. That's just my personal opinion. Again, these are not financial advice. This is just me talking to myself, saying what I'm going to buy out loud and telling you guys. All right. So that's it for these three. So I'm going to just X and you see my PC there. All right. We're going to talk about this card, the gold foil Luffy. Let me see. Gold SP Luffy. Let's go with BGS 10 because that's what I have. English. OP 11? And it's fucking gone. What the fuck? Dude, what the hell? And it's not available all of a sudden. All right, well, let's just go to this then. So there was a recent sale of this card, the SP Gold Luffy, and thanks to Sports Card Plaza, everyone, and then my buddy Grand Line TCG reposted it. Everyone was like, "Oh shit, it hit 33K." I guess it wasn't a legitimate sale, and now it's being realistic. Yes, a 10 for 21.5. And then this is what my buddy said. Don't get me wrong, it's a super rare and strong card out of OP TCG, but don't artificially inflate or spread false news. Yes. So this is why I'm taking a different approach for this market watch. It pisses me off all the time. And it's too easy to artificially inflate. It's easy to artificially inflate comps on a very big card. The traditional way to do that, and I might be spilling the beans on the wrong shit, but you just tag a card for that much on eBay, right? But most people don't have that money. They'll tag the card, they'll buy it now at the highest price and not pay for it. But then when you go back to like a card ladder, that last sale is still there and it hasn't been scrubbed out. So now if I'm gonna buy this fucking card, I'm buying at margins that I can't sustain. I gotta pay 85% of the last sale. That is an outlier. That's why I always stress to view all the sales. You gotta view every sale. Like, come on, there's a $11,000 jump. There's something wrong with that. You know, the $3,000 jump is fine. 2, 3, 2 to 3 is like the standard deviation, right? But like 11K in 14 days, I don't know. One Piece has done crazy stuff, but you always have to check. And it's even a best offer. I kind of like to ignore auctions, just FYI, but this is crazy work. This is nuts. I don't understand that at all. So yeah, whenever you're buying, please be careful. You gotta triple check yourself sometimes. You gotta triple check the card. So vending is getting very, very difficult, right? You have to like triple check the card. You also have to see if the thing is fake. If you have to check if the card's fake. Like there's so many actions you must take, and you have to systematically go through in your mind. It can be overwhelming sometimes. Trust me, it's overwhelming. There's so much stimulus like going in and out. There's so much stimuli coming in and out of your mind. You're like, oh, what the hell? You just got to be used to the grind. But damn, it's crazy. Be careful when buying. You have to set up a system where you're triple checking cards. You have to check for authenticity. You have to check for comps, real comps. You can artificially inflate anything nowadays, and it'll be good. That's the whole reason why I started Market Watch. People are saying, you know, the hobby is great. The hobby is this and that. And don't get me wrong. The hobby is great, but not for what you think it is. it isn't great for monetary values. Like, honestly, I'm doing this full time and it's hard. It's weighing on me. Do I need to find another job? Maybe I should. Maybe I need to, find a daytime job because this is not sustainable. But am I successful? Yes, I've gotten very far within this hobby because I made friends first. You know, the knowledge came after, but you can easily train anyone this whole grand scheme of things. What's hard to teach are soft skills like networking, you know, persuading people to help you out. Making friends is a soft skill. So yeah, you work on those soft skills, communicating very well, expressing what you want, what you need, expressing to other people without throwing them under the bus, without throwing them off, without offending people, speaking with tact. I mean, it's a whole lot of things that you can list all the intangibles, you know, and it's a tough go. I think there are easier ways to make money. There's a lot of steps. This hobby is not it's not so black and white. There's so many gray areas. There's just so many ways you can make money, but there's also so many ways you can lose money. And this is why I started the market watch, is to really hone in on what you guys need to learn. And honestly, if you engage with me with more comments, like asking questions, it'll actually frame my market watches better. The more questions you ask, the better the content will be. But also, I haven't been posting, but it will help me out if you comment what your questions are, what you want to learn. Maybe I can drive that out, and it's free content. I've been a shop manager, for a little bit, right? But it's given me a lot of insight from the shop perspective. So, and I worked for a shop for like 3 years. And I managed it for one, and I made them so much money. So, me just breathing inside their building made them so much money. Can you imagine how much money I can make for myself? Yes, it's hard. It's hard to set up the system, but once you have that wheel or that cog rolling, you're gonna do the great things. So that's what that is. And I wanted, and this is where the whole driving point is with just sports and TCG in general. Now it's becoming a sports versus TCG. Uh, I personally, when I entered the hobby, I started off with basketball and Pokemon. Those were the two things I started off with. My love for Kobe has helped me enter the space. Unfortunately, when I entered the space, he passed away, right? So that was that. And that's, I think, what drove me to look for his cards. I wanted a piece of my idol that passed away, and that's a whole nother thing too. Is that even ethical, right, for people to sell after someone after an icon like that passes? I don't know. I wanted to buy that. I was emotionally distressed. It felt like someone broke up with me. That's how sad I had felt. But that's how I entered the hobby. But I knew I needed TCG to stabilize my stack. So I wanted to share this. And this guy Z.TCG wanted to share this as well. Wanted to share this here. I've been at Fanatics Fest all week. Big sports card show for those that don't know. But I know. And I got to tell you, my biggest takeaway from this whole event is TCG is in a much, much better space than sports. The main buyers are running repacks. Very little people actually hunting things they think are collectible long term, just short term hype plays. Vendors unwilling to spend unless insane deal. It's funny. We have confidence in the stuff we're buying. These people don't. Okay. One thing is sports versus TCG. They're two very different categories. Sports, there is evidence in that space, right? It's all performance based. So if you don't perform, you don't play well. You don't play well, you don't do well. And if you don't do well, your cards won't do well. That's just what it is. Like, take John Morant, for example. He's arguably the best, like, draft pick, what, in 2020? That, like, he, like, I think that was his rookie year. Dude, I forgot. And I think it's 2020. John Morant, rookie year. Yeah, 2019, I mean. So in 2019, John Morant's rookie year, right? And it's just been what, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 7 years later, because of his pew pew incident, his market just crashed. People that invested in Ja for long term lost a whole lot of money. I'm assuming just because of his on the court antics. He got hurt a little bit, this, that, and the other. I'm not all that. I'm just giving you the evidence that if they fuck up on the court or off the court, their value goes down. The argument for TCG is, well, Pikachu can't tear their ACL, can't tear his ACL. That is true, right? But I also make the joke. That they can retire Ash though, and they did. Once I made that joke, they retired Ash. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. But it has no bearing, or it has no pull on how a card does. You know what I mean? Not like sports. Sports, you're pretty much on pins and needles. You can't hold a card for more than 2 weeks with sports. That's why you have to flip. I notice a lot of OP, like even like TCG, vendors, they like to flip, and a lot of them came from the sports side, right? And I'm telling you, it's okay to hold it for more than 2 weeks. That is actually okay for One Piece at the very least. Pokemon is such a staple. You can hold it for a longer term if your situation calls for it. Now I know everyone needs money; they need to cycle their money, but One Piece is where it's at in terms of growing your margins. Your margins will grow, and I'm not afraid of throwing 85% out there. Some people are buying aggressively at 90, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But more than anything, it will work out at 85%. 90 is cutting it, because if you are doing this legitly and have an LLC, which 90% of you vendors don't have an LLC, you're gonna get clipped for like 10%. And if you want to show what you're making, you have to give that 10% to the government per transaction. But I'm going to leave that talk for my CPA, and that's what I'm learning right now. I can't really relay it financially. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't copy that strategy. I have a set strategy with my CPA. I will tell you this though. Go out, find a good CPA that will tell you anything, or that knows anything about the hobby. Get a good CPA that knows anything about the hobby, and they will help you. They will help guide you, give you the best strategy for your situation. My situation is different from yours, and yours is different from mine. But again, that's where everyone else is different, especially from the TCG space and the sports space. It's not apples to apples. It's a very different breed of people and a breed of economics. It's such a different economics when it comes to both categories. And I just want to let you guys know that his heart was in the right place, and I get it. Proud of TCG. I'm proud of this space too. It's growing rapidly, but the amount of people that's in it, the amount of awesome people that's in it is overwhelming. I love it. I love everyone that I, come in contact with. For the most part, there's always that 1% that's commenting me, commenting on me, that's giving me shit. But 99% of the time, it's all love in this space, and that's great. That 1% that's punching up is probably pissed that they're not making as much money as we are. So I'll leave that to you. Again, this is my market watch for today. Subscribe if you've have gotten any value from this, and I'll see you on the next market watch. Hopefully next Saturday. I'll be at Comic-Con, so maybe I'll do a market watch at Comic-Con. All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.